around their heads. And the very high Chitauli, like their king, Mubaba Samahongo, they have got very long horns which grow this way. Not that way like a bull, but this way like certain antelopes. Now, I just wonder where these film producers get their information from. And in one strange films, which my student called me to come and watch, was the thing called Stargate 2. Mm-hmm. And in that films, there was a creature, a very slimy, cream-colored creature with heavy wrinkles on its face. It was a spitting likeness of Mubaba Samahongo, the terrible emperor of the Chitauri.
Well, clearly there's a tremendous amount of knowledge of what's been going on and what is going on, which comes out symbolically through films and areas of communication like Hollywood. But the thing that I'm totally stunned the more I talk to you about this is because I've been all over the world having people give me descriptions of seeing reptilian type figures, particularly people in positions of power in the world, changing into a reptilian figure and coming back again. And what they describe seeing is exactly what the knowledge of ancient Africa talks about seeing. We're talking about the same people there, which is an astonishing confirmation. And the eyes is something that keeps coming up being described. Yes. Tell me about the eyes of the Chitauri.
Say, a warrior Chitauri has got eyes like a snake. These eyes are yellowish with split pupils, and they glow in darkness. So if a Chitauri, a warrior Chitauri, one of the lesser classes, is hiding in a cave, you can see its eyes burning. But a royal Chitauri has got 3 eyes. It's got the yellow eyes, which glow in a strange, almost ice-like way, like jewels, like certain types of yellow jewel. And then they have got an eye in the center of their foreheads, an eye which doesn't close up down like a normal eye does, but which closes from side to side and which opens this way. Now this eye of the Chitauri is the eye that kills, because it can knock a man down just by the fire, the glare that comes out of it.
Is this where the a constant recurring theme of the evil eye comes from?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In fact, Mr. David, I would like to share a little thing with you. It is this: the best way to protect an evil thing is to deny its existence. And if you talk about things such as the Chitauri, if you talk about things such as the Mandinda, there are many people who say to you, rubbish, this thing does not exist. Now, in this way, this great evil is protected by being denied. One day in my long travels through the world, I was in New York in that place called Harlem. And I saw a graffiti on a wall along a passage. And the graffiti was, there is no such a thing as the mafia, and we will kill any asshole who says that there is. In this, again and again, in America, people deny the existence of the mafia, and by denying it, actually protect it wittingly or unwittingly. There are those who deny that a national and international conspiracy exists. They deny it ferociously. But by denying it, they are actually assisting it and actually protecting it. We must stop denying the existence of these things. We must stop saying that there are no Chitauri, that there are no aliens, that there are no Illuminati. There are.
Okay. He's an amazing man, and for those who seem to indicate from what they've said about me this week that by definition, if you talk of a global conspiracy, you are a far-right Nazi, maybe those people might ponder on this after hearing those words. Credo Mutwa had his son murdered, his house burned down, and his body battered to the point of death for opposing the racist apartheid regime in South Africa. And what those that have their sweeping definitions and their lack of brain cell activity are saying is that he, as you've just heard, must therefore be a far-right, racist Nazi. The ludicrous of it takes the breath away. Now, one of the other things that people see is this kind of ethereal type, reptilian type figure, which locks in, again it comes up again, into these lower levels, these lower chakras, and almost like, as we've had repeated throughout history, people get possessed by this consciousness and it starts taking over their thinking processes. This is an interesting painting where a guy was trying to depict a race trapped in a time-space dimension which they couldn't get out of. And interestingly, he chose reptiles to depict that race. And again, one of the things that comes up is that somehow, at least part of this reptilian situation, is reptilians on another dimension, the fourth dimension, very close to this. And of course, like all dimensions, occupying the same space, like radio frequencies and television frequencies, who are manipulating this dimension by working through physical bodies. And that's an interesting depiction that he made of that. Another thing that comes up is the Draco star constellation, again and again and again. And it's interesting when you see the writers and the artists, how they depict truth in symbolic terms and so-called fictional terms. We have Count Dracula. And when you look at the stories of Count Dracula, you're looking at the recurring themes that surround these reptilian figures, from the royal elite, supposed to come from Draco, according to the stuff I keep getting from various people. And the word draconian sums up the Illuminati magnificently. And Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, was a high initiate of this very network, who, like many others who've written books depicting truth as fiction, had access to what was really going on. You'll see as we go through, if you reflect on the day, how all these different elements of Dracula in the story come back in the stories of this Chitauri. Even the depiction of the devil, the classic depiction of the devil, fits many of the descriptions of these reptilian figures. The other thing that Credo talks about is the connection between these reptilian bloodlines and ancient Egypt. And one of the things he talks about is that some of these Chitauri have almost like a cartilage-type growth, especially the much older ones. They seem to live much longer.
Tell me about the eyes of the Chitauri.
Say, a warrior Chitauri has got eyes like a snake. These eyes are yellowish with split pupils, and they glow in darkness. So if a Chitauri, a warrior Chitauri, one of the lesser classes, is hiding in a cave, you can see its eyes burning. But a royal Chitauri has got 3 eyes that producers get their information from. And in one strange film, which my student called me to come and watch, was the thing called Stargate 2. And in that film, there was a creature, a very slimy creature.
The thing that I'm totally stunned the more I talk to you about this is because I've been all over the world having people give me descriptions of seeing reptilian-type figures, particularly people in positions of power in the world, changing into a reptilian figure and coming back again. And what they describe seeing is exactly what the knowledge of ancient Africa talks about seeing. We're talking about the same people there, which is an astonishing confirmation. And the eyes is something that keeps coming up being described.
Same-colored creature with heavy wrinkles on its face. It was a spitting likeness of Mubaba Samahongo, the terrible emperor of the Chitauri.
Well, clearly there's a tremendous amount of knowledge of what's been going on and what is going on, which comes out symbolically through films and areas of communication like Hollywood. But
all around their heads. And the very high Chitauri, like their king, Mubaba Samahongo, they have got very long horns which grow this way. Not that way like a bull, but this way like certain antelopes. Now, I just wonder where these feeding